Is there somebody, we'll try to get as many people as we can before the trimester ends. Is there somebody who has not rolled yet this year that would like to roll this trimester? Carter, you've rolled many times. What? Yeah, you've rolled too.
I've rolled like once. I've been in your class 2 times.
And you've never rolled. Yeah, Noah too, yeah. Okay, how about we give it to you today? Because he asked me a couple days ago, I remember. You can do it Tuesday. And if there's more people, we will still get to it. That's close. We've still got 2 weeks left, so we definitely have enough days to get anybody to roll if they want a chance. I crunch my fingers. Yeah, go ahead. Yep, that's the direction. Now you kind of have to watch out because sometimes it just like seems to fall out on its own. 14. We have Kylie. I bet you are overjoyed. Okay, so this whole week, we did the type on the left that were called 3-term hard. There's all sorts of names we can call them. This is just the most straightforward. And I didn't tell you what they were called. I just gave them to you. Now, I chose those first because you solve them with factor by grouping, just like we had done the previous week. And I thought that would be the best for you. So we actually have an easier version of the problems we learned called 3-term easy. What I was hoping you could do, what's the big difference between those two types of problems, do you think? What's going to make one be considered hard, one be considered easy? No idea. Oh. You know, you can't spot anything between those two equations up there. I didn't hear that. I saw you talking. That's perfect. That's the one reason. So on the ones we've done all week, there's a number on the x squared. That's technically what makes them be considered more difficult. If there is no number on the x squared, they're considered easier because there's a shortcut we can use to find the answer if we want. Now I'm going to emphasize this ahead of time. You do not have to do these any different than we have done this whole week. Every problem today can be solved the same method you've done all week long. So if you're the type of person that loves the fact that one method can solve almost every single problem, stick with it. That's fine. It'll be a little bit slower, but you don't, I mean, like, if that doesn't bother you, just do it, right? But there is going to be a quicker way to factor the easier versions that I'll show you today, and I'm just emphasizing you don't have to use it. But I want to show it to you because some of you will like it. Okay, do you need me to go over and refresh you on how we did them all week long? No? Okay. So I will show you on this one the method we've done this week just to show you that it works. But I'm going to erase it afterwards and show you the quicker method that only works on the problems without a number here. Okay, so the way we've done it so far, multiply first and last, that would get me 8x squared. And then somewhere else you would try to find the factors of 8 that add up to -6. So we've got 1 and 8, -1, -8, but you might not even write that because you know it doesn't work. We've got 2 and 4, -2, -4, and well, that's all there is. And then you probably recognize -2 and -4 is the pair that adds up to -6. So then you would write x squared minus 2x minus 4x plus 8. Split it in half. Factor the first half, so like they both have an x going into them. So whether I do this in my head or write it out, I would take it away and get that. Second half, 4 goes into both. The first number is a negative, so that means I'm going to take out that negative. And whether you do that in your head or just write it down, we actually end up with x minus 2 again. by having two of the same factors, you get this as a final answer. And I'm guessing you guys are probably okay with that, right? We did it a lot. Is anybody writing this down? Like, should I leave it there before I erase it? Okay, I'll leave it for a second then. You don't have to write this down. I just didn't know if you were. You want me to leave it then? Will do. This is a good time to take a drink. I keep losing my voice today. I'm very much ready for spring break so my voice can rest for an entire week. By the end of the school year, my voice is usually shot. Now, you guys have no idea because you weren't here, but like 4 years ago, maybe 5 years ago, I got the flu one time, and it caused one of my vocal cords to be paralyzed. So I couldn't speak for like, I don't know what it was, 6 months. Like it was basically like a whisper. And apparently you can do that when you get a virus, like that can happen. So I had to have surgery on my vocal cords to get it to work again. So my voice, I lose my voice by the end of the year, pretty much every year because of that. Got it? Excellent. Let me erase everything I just did. I know that sounds terrible. I'm going to leave the answer, though. And I'm going to leave that on the right. $12? Why can I never? Oh, Haley's gone. Oh, middle number? 29. Maya? I see we're paying close attention on the notes there. How come it's kind of pointless to multiply the 1 and the 8? So when we have a number in the front, we multiply these outside numbers at the beginning of the problem. Like this one, we would get 15, okay? Why does it seem kind of dumb for us to multiply these two outside numbers?
Oh, because there's none right there.
Right. So you're multiplying by 1. You're always going to get the same answer as the third number.
Right.
Okay? So if we don't really need to multiply those outside numbers, if we just look at the third number only, and in our head we say, what are the factors of 8 that add up to -6? And we already figured this part out, right? I left it up on the next to the problem. We already figured out it was -2 and -4. I'm hoping you guys notice the tie-in to the answer. That's the answer, is -2 and -4. So if there is no number in the front, you can just immediately write the answer with what two numbers multiply to the third one, add to the middle one. And it's absolutely a shortcut to the final answer. And this happens every single time because there's no number in the front. So that's going to be the shortcut. I want to emphasize you don't have to do that. Some of you get confused when you learn more than one method, right? When your brain has to start to choose and try to figure out which method to use, I know for some of you that just throws you off. So if you're the type of person that gets confused having multiple options, and you can do every problem with one method, you're going to want to do them all with the factor by grouping way. And you can. You're just going to find out it's slower, right? That's it. But on the test, then you don't have to worry about choosing. Okay, in our actual notes, nope, that is not our notes. This is our notes. Go to this page. It's in the middle of the packet somewhere. It's before what we just worked on. Because this is easier, most people do this first. we are going to start at this problem right here. X squared minus 6x minus 7. So it's the second one down on the left side. Who are we going to have help us? We are going to practice the quick method, but I'm emphasizing that you don't have to do it if you don't want to. 30? Nobody. I don't know. Did I switch your guys' numbers?
You switched those, remember?
Where's your packet? Get off your guys' phones. Okay, Leah. Do you think you kind of understood that quick method already or not? Or so we're going to look for what two numbers, what two numbers multiply to -7, and I can write it down. Okay, and then one of them has to be negative. So we want them to add up to -6. So the negative would go on the 7. So if we have +1 and -7, that adds up to be -6. Perfect. It doesn't matter which one you write first or second, but you can just directly write the answer right away. And that only works because there's no number in the front. Are we okay with that, somewhat? Okay. Okay. Now who we have for the next one? Stephanie. So the problem right next to this one, it's very similar to the one we just did. We want it to multiply to -7, but now we want them to add to be +6. So how would I just write the do you want to just tell me the final answer right away? Do you want some guidance? I definitely didn't hear that at all. Okay. It was my fault. I turned the fan on up here because it was warm in here this morning. So I basically can't hear anything. Perfect. So then we would say x -1, x +7. And we're able to do this when there's no number on the front one. But if this way kind of confuses you, we can do it the slow way still. The way with the factor by grouping, by multiplying the outer numbers. Still works. I'll just tell you what. When you become an adult, you come up with different words for things. Like, I'm lazy because I like to do things fast. But when you're an adult, they don't say it's lazy. They say that you're efficient. So I'm an efficient person, so I always try to find the fastest way to do something. Believe it or not, they love that. Some jobs love that because you can get your work done faster, right? Microsoft always hires people who are efficient. So when you're an adult, they come up with words that don't sound as bad. When you're a kid, they call you lazy. When you're an adult, they call you efficient. It's great. You turn 18 and you come up with good words for yourself instead. It's fantastic. Okay, so we're going with the efficient method for practicing. $19. Alyssa, can you be an efficient person? Can we do this the efficient way?
X plus
Hmm?
-1. X plus 13.
Perfect. So I'm trying to get you guys to practice doing it in your head. And all of these examples right here are numbers that are easier in your head. But excellent job. -1 plus 13. Because those two numbers would multiply to be negative 13. They add to 12. And the more of these questions you practice, the better you get at understanding how it works. And so you just can think of it in your head rather than writing it down. That's normally what happens. But I've had some people go through all 4 years of high school. They want to write it down every time. Go for it. Are we ready for a challenge problem? I feel like we are. Noah, who's going to get the challenge problem? The winner of the day. Ooh, a big number. 35 is Delilah. You get the hard problem of the day. Okay, we're going to go at the top of the page. X squared minus 36. Okay, so there's no number on the x squared, so we can technically do this the fast way. But this one definitely is different than the others. Why is this one different? It doesn't have the middle number. So, that's significant. What number do we not write down? If we were adding, why we wouldn't write this down? When there's nothing of something, 0. So technically the middle term is 0, so you wouldn't write it down. So we're going to do the same method, but when there's no middle term, it's 0 of them. So we're trying to figure out what two numbers multiply to negative 36, but then add to 0. The only way you can add to 0 is if they're the same number, but different. So what multiplies to 36 but the same number? They technically call it the square root, but that doesn't matter. 6 and 6. So I'm going to write plus 6 minus 6. Now they multiply to be 36, negative 36, but they add to be 0. Nice job. Who's got the music on so loud?
I would tell her to put down. Look at his snitch.
Well, I heard the music,
snitch.
yeah.
But she had to say that.
Well, it was pretty much one of you two.
I was looking out for you.
It wasn't like that difficult.
Yeah, I'm not a fan.
Okay. Do we feel like we need to do more? Does anybody want me to show you how to do this new type of problem with the old method? Yeah, I can do that. And then we'll be done we'll be done with notes. Okay, so this problem up here, we'll do it with the method where you multiply. Oh, that's an eraser. So if we multiply 1 and negative 36, we get negative 36x squared. And then you would fill out the factors. There's a bunch of them, right? You know, I'm just going to skip them all to get to 6 and negative 6. We're going to put 6 and negative 6 in place of nothing. So this will be x squared plus 6x minus 6x minus 36. So we're basically replacing the 0 with a 6 and a negative 6. Carly. You guys are way too addicted to your phones. You literally cannot sit there for minutes without going on it. Or even just listening to music the whole time.
What if it's like 2 and 4 and you can't go?
Wouldn't work. So these problems only work if a number would multiply times itself. So like, yeah, you won't, that's a good question. You won't be given this question if this isn't a perfect square number, because it doesn't work. Okay, I feel like I don't need to finish this because you guys are pretty good at that. Okay, what I would like you to do for today, we've got about a half hour to do it, is I would like you to finish all the problems on this page and the next page that do not have a number on the x squared. So save all of the problems that have a number in the front, because that's a there's another method I'll show you Tuesday that makes those a lot easier. Yes, you can feel free to move around if that's what you're looking. You look like you were looking for permission or something. A lot of you should finish early, but I know if you're going to do the method that we've been doing all week, it'll go a little bit slower.